Hi there, it's Siobhan. How are you doing? I hope this finds you well. And I'm coming to you on Friday afternoon because somebody said to me this morning they are holding me accountable for posting a video to talk to you about emotional freedom technique, aka tapping. So here I am accountable. I'm showing up to tell you and to show you what EFT is. So what is this tapping of which I speak? EFT it's derived from two things. I won't go on for too long about the background. So born from kinesiology, a method called thought field technique was further developed into emotional freedom technique in, I think, about the 1980s in the US by a guy called Gary Craig. And it works on acupoints, and I'll show you the points we work on. The points I work on is point here, on there, so on the top of your head, inner corner of your eyebrow, outer eye, under the eye, under the nose, there on the sort of crease of your chin-ish, and then you can't see my collarbones, I don't appear to have any, but I do, coming under the collarbone, sort of underneath. We're using the knuckles there rather than tapping. I find that works better. And then if you go onto the arm, if you're a woman, you might have a bit of a boobage in the way. And you're sort of here, tapping on the rib cage. And I guess because of the proximity to the lungs, you get a nice kind of hollowy, echoey thing where you've got those lovely empty spaces of the lungs, air-filled spaces. Okay. Why do we do this? Emotional freedom technique, as the name suggests, is about freedom. It's about freeing ourselves up by working on talking and thinking about, it could be a habit we want to break, like a behavior. For example, smoking, eating lots of sweeties, a habit we want to change. It can be an emotional pattern or some kind of pain, something that causes us pain emotionally. That might be something that's happened in the past or even just 5 seconds ago. It can be patterns of thinking and beliefs. There's something we call limiting beliefs in coaching and other disciplines. A limiting belief is usually something that's not true. It's pretty much not true a lot of the time. A limiting belief could be women mustn't be successful, whatever we've been told to believe, or nobody in our family ever made anything of themselves, or I'm too stupid to do this, or okay, a lot of us have, it's like programming in our little brain computer. We've got this iffy programming, which is limiting beliefs, and everyone's got them. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you, you're not bad. It's just what you have sort of got programmed into your mind's computer, if you like. So these are the kinds of things that we can work on. In fact, I say with emotional freedom technique, EFT, you can work on anything at all. So you've got hiccups, or you're fed up because you've had a row with someone, or you've got a headache, okay? In the moment, so I've got to turn the heating down, it's really hot in here. In the moment, that's better. You can just go, okay, I've got this headache. Right, I don't have a headache, but let's say I've got a headache. So this is you and me. You can do what I'm doing, and I'll just show you typically what we could do. So, I've got this headache, and if I were to grade this on a scale of 1 being not bothered to 10 being I feel sick, I want to lie down, I want to shut my eyes, I feel like my head's going to explode. Think about how this is affecting you. So let's say I've got this headache and I feel like my head's going to explode. Okay, let's use those feelings, those thoughts, and this headache is behind my eyes for the sake of argument. So you would say, even though I've got this headache, I accept that. Even though I've got this headache, I accept that's happening. Something like that. Okay, doesn't matter hugely if you change your wording. Even though I've got this headache, it's okay. I've got that, it's happening, whatever. Okay, that's the setup statement. And then we will, I'm going to start here, I'm going to say this headache. So this isn't a script. You will learn when you come and have a session with me and we do some EFT, you'll kind of see what we do. It's not on a script, we are working together, I'm being guided by you. So we might say this headache. And for heaven's sake, keep breathing. Don't hold your breath while you're doing this. Outer corner of the eye, it's behind my eyes. And then we come under the eye, this headache. And you might say, it's really bad. Ugh, feel sick. This headache's really bad. Now all I'm doing is using those words, that it's the client's words, you know, when I say, tell me about your headache. And they'll go, oh, it's all around the back of my head. So we'll go, back of my head. So here I'm coming in with those knuckles and I'm kind of in that little space under the collarbone. It often feels quite tender, that's fine. Ah, this headache, I wish it would go away. Ugh. And if they've used a certain facial expression, maybe I'll mirror that, because I'm wanting to make it as close to what they are feeling and saying and experiencing about the problem as possible. It's got to be in their words, right? And they might go, oh, I've had it for 2 days. And I'll say, oh, 2 days, I've had this headache. Oh. I just want to lie down. And as we're doing this, I'm just going to stop for a moment. As we're doing this work, this tapping, the point of the tapping and the tapping on the acupressure points is that we are tuning into their brain, that's about here, to a part of their brain that's responsible for stress. And I suppose what I like to imagine happening is there's a control room and there's a big wheel and then there's a little man in the control room and he's turning down the wheel, right? He's turning down the dial as we're working, because we want the intensity of the stressful feeling that's bound up in this problem, the stress it's causing us, the upset, the pain. We want that to be coming down, like the dial's going down, right? So as we're working, look for what's happening, like, are words popping up in your head? Or is a situation cropping up? You know, you could never think anything silly. As we're tapping, you might suddenly remember something, maybe an episode in the past, and you may think that's got nothing to do with my headache. But if you tell me, you know, that could be relevant, what will we do? We'll do the next round of tapping on that. Because what we're doing is peeling the onion, we're peeling back a layer, and maybe something else comes up that wants to be addressed. So going back to kinesiology, I've studied kinesiology at foundation level, and they talked about priority. And they talked about it in terms of, your body, the intelligence of your body mind or mind body, deciding what needs to be healed first. And this idea that maybe if we knock over that domino, 10 more dominoes will be knocked down. So maybe if we heal that one thing, that will take out the others. So this is why they talk about the priority in kinesiology. And I think this is a great theory, because if you can nail that thing, we don't necessarily know that's the priority, but maybe if we shift that belief, that pain, and we take that down to an intensity of 0, where the client feels that has been healed and resolved and removed and is no longer an issue, which does happen, they might say to me a week later, oh my God, my headaches have gone. They'll text me and they'll say, okay, this is really weird, but since we did that session, I'm sleeping better. And I'll go, great. What else has been healed? We may not know what is happening in this session and what else is moving and shifting and resolving. So it's not always the issue you come with. So it's really good to come with an open mind to an EFT session, because it is a little bit magic. And by doing this work, we may find that that's not really the problem. Maybe that thing you thought was the problem is not the problem. And by us talking and tapping, very, very often, it's like it will rise up to the surface saying, notice me, pay me attention, I want you to work on this, and your intelligence will bring that forward. Then we'll work on that. So it's quite fluid, it's it's a nice treatment, it's a very exciting session, it's very collaborative. I try to get you to lead it, because you know, your mind body, that intelligence knows deep down what needs to be worked on. So I'm kind of like the bus driver, but you're sort of telling the bus where to go. So when you step up and really own that, that's when we can do some really, really good work. So in January, I am offering EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique sessions on Google Meet and here in my office in Surrey, in Egham, at a very reduced rate. It's £35. So if you would like to have a session with me, I'm going to try and be clever and put my booking link on this when I post this video. So I'm not madly techie, but good enough. So drop me a comment, ask me questions, get in touch, let me know, have you tried EFT? What do you think? Or do you want to try it? Is there something you really feel like, oh, I owe it to myself to work on this thing? And remember, we can tap on anything at all. So I will leave you with that. Okay, don't be a stranger, get in touch, okay? Happy Friday to you. Bye.